Picture 2004. You sit down at a computer, open a browser, and type something into Google. Maybe it's for a recipe. Maybe it's for homework. Maybe it's directions. Within seconds, you have links ready to go. And one of them is exactly what you needed. The internet was enormous and chaotic, and Google was a thing that made sense of it. Now open Google today, and look how different it is. The same company, the same search box, a completely different product. And it shows. Back to its origin, the original paper of Google described a search engine built on a simple but radical idea. The web was full of information. The problem was finding the right piece of it. Their mission, stated plainly and kept for years, was to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. When Google went public, there was a letter sent to prospective shareholders. In it, they included a line that would come to define the company's identity. Don't be evil. It was an unusual thing for a corporation to say, and the intent was a public commitment to doing the right thing before profit. And for a while, people believed them. Google in its early years genuinely earned that trust. The product was fast, clean, and extraordinarily useful. The ads were labeled, separated, and limited. The actual search results were the point. It wasn't a secret that Google has always been an advertising company, but for a long time, that balance held, until it didn't. Alphabet now generates the overwhelming majority of its revenue from advertising, with search at the core of it. And in 2018, Google quietly removed "Don't be evil" from its code of conduct. No announcement, no explanation. Imagine deciding you can no longer hold the motto of not being evil. Let's examine the UI of a Google search today. I want links to websites about tractors. Here's what stands between me and those links. The top of the page has an AI overview. A full paragraph with images generated by a machine. Then generate links suggested by the AI. One full screen. Nothing what I asked for. Then Google Maps of the area. Then 3 videos of the topic. Scroll down again. Then AI suggested products. And then finally, one link, which also has related products. That is everything we had to remove to find one website. A wave of Google detours. This is not what Google said it would be.
And that philosophy is, don't put things in people's way, right? Give people the most direct route possible to find the information that they're looking for and to accomplish the task they want. One of my colleagues at Google, Marissa Meyer, is fond of talking about Google as a Swiss Army knife, right? Google is a tool that gives you exactly what you want when you want it. Not everything you could possibly ever want all the time. Google doesn't overwhelm you with a lot of choice up front, but when you need the power, it's there. This simple attitude, not putting things in people's way, has over time driven a lot of the decisions that we've made about the Google site and how it's evolved.
That was Google's philosophy. So how did we get from that to this? Back to search, and Google created a problem for itself. To rank pages, Google built an algorithm. To game the algorithm, an entire industry was born. Search engine optimization, also known as SEO, is the practice of engineering your content to rank highly on Google. Every time Google updated its ranking signals, SEO practitioners adapted. Every adaptation forced another update. The cycle never ended. Academic research has now confirmed what many people have known for years. Higher ranked pages show signs of heavier SEO optimization, more affiliate links, and lower overall text quality. The algorithm was supposed to surface the best content. Instead, it surfaced the most optimized content. Those are not always the same thing. There's a statistic that quietly explains a lot. Roughly 60% of Google searches today end without a single click. On mobile, that number climbs to 77%. That means the majority of people who use Google never leave Google. That did not happen by accident. Google has spent years building features that answer questions directly inside the search page. Knowledge panels, featured snippets, maps, flight prices, and sports scores, all of it designed to give you what you need without sending you anywhere else. The company that was built to connect you to the rest of the web has become a destination that prefers to keep you on its own property. Independent websites, blogs, publishers, and creators have felt the consequences of this directly. The intent is simply to make you use Google search, but don't really search. Part of their plan to keep you on their real estate was search generative experience. Google renamed it to AI Overviews and rolled it out to users across the United States. The problem started immediately. The summaries were sometimes wrong, they were sometimes dangerous, they were almost always in the way, and you could not get rid of it. And they create a new layer between you and the actual source of information. There's a moment that captures the current state of Google better than a statistic. Someone searched Google for how to turn off AI Overview. Google responded with an AI Overview. That is not a joke, that is the product. And people are responding to that by leaving, not to another search engine, to something different entirely. Tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity don't give you a page of links to sift through. They give you an answer with sources attached. Their interface is clean. There's nothing to scroll past. Nearly 1 in 4 people who use ChatGPT now say they prefer it over Google for finding information. Google spent 20 years becoming the default starting point for every question. That default is starting to shift, and the company's response has been to add more AI into the product where people are already leaving because of AI. Something interesting started happening as trust in Google results declined. People started appending the word Reddit to their searches, not because Reddit told them to, not because Google suggested it. It's because they figured out on their own that it is a form of real people. They have real opinions and real experience, which was more useful than the optimized content Google was surfacing. This became common enough that Google took notice. In 2024, Google signed a deal with Reddit, reported to be worth around $60 million a year, licensing Reddit's content to train its AI and surface discussions inside search results. Think about what that means. Google's now paying for human conversation to use as credibility layer on top of a search product that people no longer trust. The irony is complete. The platform people are fleeing to is now feeding the platform they are fleeing from. Google was supposed to be a library, an index of everything humanity has written, organized so anyone could find what they needed. What it has become is closer to a mall. The entrance is impressive, there's a lot to look at, but everything is positioned to make you spend or click on something that benefits the landlord. The information is still there, but you have to walk past a lot to get to it. Google did not become this overnight. It happened through thousands of small decisions, each individually defensible and collectively corrosive. The model got deleted, the algorithm got gamed, the AI got deployed, and the web got cheaper to fill. And something in there, the product stopped being built for the person searching. That person still types their questions into the box, out of habit mostly, but increasingly they add the word Reddit, or they open a different tab. And Google, the company that once organized the world's information, is left trying to convince you that its answer was the one worth finding.
We try to think really hard about what features we ought to include and which ones we're really better off leaving out, right? It's always easy to add new features to a product, right? Ideas are a dime a dozen, but we find that oftentimes what's much harder is to have the discipline to decide to leave things out.